like the necessary parts. Like for example, if I need, like if I have a Scarf Lavesta, I'll likely, for instance, I'll add a Mianfu right now. If I add a
Okay.
Mianfu and just put in regen, just put in a Violite.
I started mid combo, by the way, so we're live.
Yep. That's good. That's good.
Would you like to
But that's
introduce
like those are
yourself?
like the two essentials. No, if they don't know who I am, I feel like this can be a good first impression, you know?
Yeah, you're right. So
Hopefully
we've
I can
got.
make a good first impression. If I can't, then like, fuck it.
I like
Okay,
your
look at
attitude.
Okay, so looking at this. Scarflower Vesta, Mianfu.
Okay.
Because I like the pivoting core of that. I'd also like Mianfu specifically for the Porygon matchup. I like it for the Omnites and shit like that. It doesn't really matter into Smash Omnite, but it does matter into specifically like Hazard Ommonites.
Okay.
And also then there's the pivoting. I can easily use Mianfu to pivot in the Larvesta. I usually play my Mianfus in a way that I don't really care if they get burned or status at all. They're not really meant to be an offensive presence, you know? They're just
They're
there to support the surrounding mons on the team.
and
So
soak up
that's
hits.
yeah. And so having that for Ghastly pivoting, having that for Porygon pivoting, Chinchou, Magnemite, Snover. Less so Snover, I guess, as I do have the Larvesta. That's gonna be like a key point to bringing in the Larvesta in the first place. So looking at it right now, one of the big things is keeping rocks off. So we might just address that immediately. We need to be able to keep the rocks off. So we can temporarily just make that a not 2 right now.
Okay.
Because that does give us good leverage into Dwebble. It gives us not into Archon. Archon would still be a big fucking issue. But it does help against Ferroseed, it helps against Bronzor, it helps against to an extent Diglett, but not really.
Right.
And Ommonites and Hippopotas, as long as I have Giga Drain on the Nato, by the way. So you could just slap on Giga Drain immediately, because that's kind of vital on these structures, I feel.
Gotcha.
Because you really need to be able to deal with the Ammonite trying to set hazards on you, and Hippopotas, which are two of like the main difficult ones. And then obviously like Drillbur would also be an issue, because that can just set hazards through Magic Bounce. And so unless we are able to fit in something that can just straight up OHKO Drillbur or a spinner, we might have to remove Nato and make it a Staryu instead, depending on how the structure turns out. But so far, Larvesta Minfu not to. There's still in need of an electric immunity. We're also kind of weak into most water types. We auto lose to Frillish. Opposing Starius are punishing if they have the right move sets. We do not like any of the Smashers. And we don't really have a special sponge yet. It's like, well, we do have Mianfu, but we don't have a way around Abra. And
Okay.
so... And the easy way to do that is just slap on a Porygon, but also that's kind of boring. I'm trying to stay away from that for now, just because it's a bit too easy. My general mentality on Black and White LC has been, because when I first started building, I built with DK and Levi, and they were both kind of going on about how they disliked that aspect of this metagame, how you couldn't deal with all the potential threats in the metagame. And they liked Misdreavus in that sense, because that acted as like a blanket check to anything you needed, and so you had that tool to always be able to counter the opposing team. You always had a tool for that. What I found is that you can, with 4 mons, you can basically counter the entire fucking tier. Just slap on a Mianfu, Slowfu, a Violite, slap on a specially defensive Porygon, slap
Yeah.
on a Violet Ghastly with the coverage of your choice, and a Diglett of a kind. And with those four, you should be able to handle the entirety of the metagame. And so the last two can like patch things that you individually struggle with, or things like matchups that you want to be good into. And so that's always going to be an option. We can just slap on Ghastly, Porygon, and Diglett here, and that's going to be a good team. But I want to see if I can diverge a little bit from that.
Build
And
something
so I
weird.
think, yeah, I'm looking at this, and we do have two pivots, potentially three in Natu.
Hmm.
And so getting Hazard up would really be beneficial. Like if we can get Hazard up for us.
Okay.
And so the question is, let's check the Stealth Rockers first. Filter Stealth Rock. So fitting an Archon would be very fun because that would add some good offensive presence. It would add a very good check to Vullaby, which also is a problematic mon for these three specifically together.
Yeah.
Archon will also bring in, it will kind of force in Ammonite and Bronzor, shit like that early, so that my Natu can have a field day. And it will also bring in Staryu, which is not good for this current structure, so we still need like a... We can
Like a
low-key
Snover.
probably do Archon for now. Yeah.
Okay.
My
Archon for now.
main issue with like...
Hmm.
Yeah. Stower is kind of... My main issue with like, because a very easy thing to do, and I think this is like the route, like with what I've said right now, I think most people would probably go with Ferroseed. And we can actually redo that, because that would add, one, it would add hazards. Two,
Hmm.
it would add a way around Abra, which would be good. And three, it adds a water resist, which is very good. Like it gives us a way into like Staryu and Relish. I'm
Oh,
just kind of slightly paranoid about Hidden Power Fire.
yeah.
Because that's like the kind of move that I usually just slap on mons. Because Ferocity is kind of interesting in that way, in that it's kind of, if you respect it, if you know, like if you're ready for it coming, Ferocity is not going to do jack shit. It does nothing into your team. However, if you don't respect it, if you don't have, like if you haven't prepared properly for it, that shit is gonna be the worst fucking nightmare to face.
Right.
As a result, it'll knock all your mons. Well, it won't knock anything in this gen, but later gens it'll knock all your mons. But we can try first it for now, just because it does fit in somewhat well. Larv, Mienfu, Natu, Pharaoh Seeds.
Ferroseed's good
Adding on
because it gives
spikes there
us
for
like
now.
a Shelter, Clamperl, Ammonite smash check.
Yeah. Yeah, it does bring some leeway into the Clamperl matchup as well. Clamperl specifically is kind of iffy, because if you kill something with Larvesta Flare Blitz, then there's a high chance that they could just bring in Clamperl, tank a Flare Blitz, and that'll be it.
Right. In the same way
Until it
that
needs...
Growlithe Hisui does in SV with Shelter.
Yeah, very
I
much
think.
so. Um, I'm not worried about not to into Clamperl, because I've got Giga Drain, and not to can't be Mementoed. I'm not going to be too worried about the Mienfoo into Clamperl, because I'm like, either we end up with some 14 speed taunt shit, or it's gonna have knockoff, and at that point you can knock off the Clamperl. Clamperl gets the +2, and now it has -1 defense. It can't kill you. So just having these kind of things in mind when building specifically for Clamperl. We also need to have some sort of either priority or protect, just because fuck Riolu. Or like, well, in this case we have Nautilus, we don't actually need that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Larv, Minfu, Natto, Ferroseed. Okay, so we have the Minfu and Ferroseed for Chinchou, Ferroseed for Abra, going to Larv for Ghastly, or Ferroseed for Ghastly. Me and Fille for Porygon for the most part. We also have first aid for the Porygon. First aid for Frillish. So right now we are still struggling with Drillbur specifically, I suspect about earlier.
Yes.
Um, if we add on, a Staryu, that's a secondary spinner. It gives us more leeway versus Ghastly, which means that we can pivot the Ferroseed more safely into Abra. Gives us more leeway into Silver, because we have something that can actually one-shot it from the idea of Staryu at the moment.
Okay.
But so far it's looking a lot like what I used last week. Oh, no, no, well, it does, but also it doesn't. Let's see. So Larfu, Natu, Ferroseed, Staryu. So an easy way to do this would be to just slap on a Diglett last.
Okay.
I would, by the way, I will have to comment on the because in the Dunban Jones video,
Hmm.
you said that you'd seen me run Scarf Elekid, and I like that thing.
Is that not true?
Very much not true.
I like that thing.
It's good. It's a it's a good mon. Scarf Elekid is good. I'd probably use that in Gen 9 once, like while Shelder was alive. Specifically for Diglett gens, though, I don't like using Scarf ground types, and I don't like using Scarf electric types. Because
Oh,
if you're
okay.
trapped by like a very common air balloon Diglett, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can set up the Stealth Frogs, they can go substitute and home claws. I'm gonna send you a replay of that later. We have a brilliant one from like fuck was it? I think it was like Snake, Smoke Snake in 2019, where Liliac brought Air Balloon Diglett with Substitute and Home Claws into Eternal Spirit because we knew that Eternal Spirit was using Scotty teams. And like 60% of them had a Scarf ground type. So we just waited for him to click Scarf Earthquake and then set up to +6. I think I have the replay laying around actually.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I like to have the option to actually like either threaten the Diglett switch in or be able to deal with Diglett once it's in already.
I see.
So I kind of don't, yeah. So, but I do like Elegant. I do like Elegant a lot. I use Air Balloon specifically in Gen 5.
That must have been
It
what I was
has a
thinking.
very good matchup. Yeah, that's a very good matchup into like Abergastly teams.
Yeah, it sure does.
And especially in Gen 5, where hidden power is 70 base power. HP Grass actually OHKOs Diglett that isn't the Violites. And so Diglett can't come in on you and trap you because you one-shot the Diglett unless they are a Violite, at which point it's still a 50-50.
Okay.
But let's see, if we go Diglett last here, that means that we can go Ferroseed, Spikes on Ferroseed, we can go Stealth Frogs and Diglett. We have a secondary check to Abra because we can use beat up. We have a good way to get Diglett in because we can pivot with Meanful and Narvesta and possibly not to. But looking at this, I probably want 3 attacks not to with Roost. Mm, that should be sufficient for opposing Minfu, but seeing as we have a structure with there's no ghost type here, and so but we wouldn't be spin blocking too much either way, would we? Actually, we have the Starius. We could in theory go Brillish instead of Natu. That would be an option. Let me see how that looks. Larv, Minfu, Brillish, Paraseed, Staryu, Diglett. 'Cause if we have Toxic on the Minfu, then Frillish can't really spin block versus Staryu because Staryu is just gonna outlive. Unless it's Giga Drain Frillish dies, which would be annoying. but I think I'm the only one using that. And even if that is the case, I should be able to pivot between Staryu and Ferrocid, and to an extent Diglett as well, since we can trap a grounded ghost type. I'm also wondering if but keeping hazards away versus Ferrocid would be annoying.
I didn't know you could trap grounded ghosts in this den.
Yeah, ghosts not being trappable is Gen 6 and onwards. So you can trap Frillish, but you can still not trap Drifloon and Ghastly because they are flying and levitating respectively. So Diglett can't trap them.
Okay.
And there's no well, there's you can trap them with Shadow Tag. You can trap them with Why Not if you want. And so you can technically actually trap a Ghastly with Mirror Coat Why Not, which is actually hilarious. I have not been considering that at all. I need to put that in my builder real quick just so I can.
Yeah, that sounds
That is
very
something
interesting.
I'm gonna do
How
something with.
viable is
It's like it's probably an issue into specifically like Will-O-Wisp Ghastly. That can just Will-O-Wisp and then sit you out, but at the same time that can be encored and then switch into something that doesn't mind a Will-O-Wisp and can take advantage of that. So that's still not bad. Shadow Ball might actually just straight up HK if you run Oranberry though. If you run a Violet, then you still to get 2-hit KO, so it might not be worth it. But it's something I'm gonna be toying a little bit with. Try Scarf, why not though? Because you can like force a Destiny Bond or something. I don't know. But let's see. Larv, Foo, Frillish, Ferrocid, Staryu, Diglett, Spikes on Ferrocid, Stealth Rock and Diglett. It has to be Surf Staryu then. So that you have the ability to kill. So you have the ability to kill Drill Burr and Psychic for Ghastly because that's the most likely spin blocker. I usually run like and that would leave us kind of weak to opposing Drifloon because our only Drifloon check. We do have Frillish actually. If we run enough defense on the Frillish, that's not going to be an issue because no one runs Shadow Ball anymore. And if they do, we do have Ferrocid in the back, which should also help. That's an option. Taunt on Drifloon would be annoying, but that's an entirely different beast. But we could go with the Good Rain and Thunderbolt so far on Ferrocid. Then we could go 3 attacks Ferrocid. We could definitely go 3 attacks on Ferrocid. What we could also do, on the note of trapping ghost types, we could go with Gravity 4th on Ferrocid, which would allow us to go hard into Diglett on opposing Ghastlies, come and trap them. But I don't know if that's a sequence we can actually force, come to think of it.
I'm a
Probably
little
isn't.
lost.
So first it gets Gravity, and so with Gravity you can pull you pull like Ghastly, for example, to the ground, and so Diglett can trap it.
Oh, okay.
I don't see any good sequences where you can go from Ferrocid into the Diglett on a Ghastly. Because you
Yeah.
wouldn't really need to go Ghastly again on most Mienfoos, because Mienfoo high jump kick is also negated by Gravity, which is another reason why you want to run Gravity on Ferrocid.
Okay.
But I don't think we want Gravity in this case. I think I want to go with Hidden Power Fire last. So
Okay,
that
Good Rain,
opposing
Thunderbolt, Hidden
Ferrocid
Power,
do not.
Fire, Spikes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so can you run down the
Um.
6 for me? We replaced Natu with Frillish, right?
So far we have, yeah.
Okay.
So far I can actually just send you the paste of what I have sitting in my builder personally right now.
Sure. Do you mind if I leak PMs then?
Uh.
Or send it on Smogon or Showdown?
Oh yeah, I can do that too. I don't mind any sort of leaking. By the way, I'm not really that.
Okay. I just asked because
I
it's
should probably
toy.
be more worried about. I should probably be more worried about that than I am. This
Okay,
is what I have right now.
I see.
That's what I
Thank you.
have. Uh, the Ferrocid EVs specifically are to outspeed opposing Ferrocid. With Hidden Power Fire being a 2-hit KO with that specific spread. Well, it still is with less, I think, but this is a more clean 2-hit KO or something. It also helps for Giga Drain rolls on shit like Drillbur and Hippoptas, yeah. And
Okay,
Staryu. And you still get 18 defenses and then 21 HP, which is still a good benchmark.
right. That's excellent, Bolt.
Um, yeah, and max attack, special attack on Staryu, just because that's kind of vital for. It's not relevant specifically for the Drillbur rolls, but once you are running Start, you might as well just go max special attack so you get most out of those rolls.
Right.
I'm gonna look into specifically if that's necessary later, but so far that's kind of where we go. Can also add rapid spin on Staryu, because that's kind of the point of having Staryu here.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Look at this. Okay, so Drillbur is covered. Drifloon is kind of covered with Frillish. Frillish really does help in that department. It also helps into Abra to an extent. It helps into the Elkin matchup is kind of iffy, but we have main and Ferrocids, so it's not that bad. As versus
What about HP
Porygon.
Fire Elekid?
HP Fire Elkid would be an issue, but I do have main Fu.
Right.
And we do have Diglett for that. So Diglett do to an extent trap that if you have if you do it well.
Okay.
I did bring HP Fire it last week, so that no, not last week, the week before that. So it's not unheard of, but it's uncommon for Chinchou reasons and for Diglett reasons.
Makes sense.
Okay, Speedy Ferroseed. Okay, so looking at this, I generally like the look of this, but I also think I might just like Natu a little bit better and then making Diglett something else that helps with Drifloon matchup. It could be a Chinchou, which would still help with the water type matchup. It's an Elec immunity. It does help against. We don't have Stealth Rocks, which is still fine. We can do Stealth Rocks and Ferroseed, and with Natu, we don't need Hidden Power Fire, and so that is an option. That would be slow, and then this would be Stealth Rock, and then we don't need a speed, and we can go more HP, and so I am double taking between the Frillish version and where are you? There you are. And this. This is also something I'm considering that might just be better. No, I think I'd be more confident bringing the Frillish variation into anyone actually. Yeah. No, we're gonna continue with the Frillish one. This is why I like not putting in the sets immediately. It makes it easy for me to just look at it objectively and be like, yeah, no, I want to try to swap out this, and I'm not going to be as attached to whatever I'm trying to swatch out. I'm not going to be married to the idea in the same way I would if I had a fully finished team in front of me. I was like, yeah, no, this is not working. No, I don't have a fully finished team, and so it's easier for me to swap things out to make it an actual good team, you know. But I think I like the Frillish variation, and so I think I'm going to roll with that. Meaning we do fill in, first we fill in Staryu, because that's the easy one. We do Timid Nature. Max Special Attack, Max Speed, and then 76 in Defense.
Okay.
Because we are using it for Drillbur, and we are using it for Archen. And so we would want, and then Frillish and Ferroseed both have to cover for water types, and specifically water types with HP Fire as well. And so I want Giga Drain on Frillish. gives me more leverage into like Ammonite and Shelter and Clamperl as well. And means that Chinchou won't come in on me for free. That is something that would let in Ferrocid for free to get up spikes. So if you don't have or Stealth Rocks and we want to alleviate the chances of that, so we want Taunt on Brillish and then Recover last.
What's a fourth move?
Let's see.
I got Giga Drain, Taunt, Recover.
Scald.
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 Got you.
Yeah.
And what's the
I
fourth
might not
move
have
on
mentioned that. I might have just... Rapid Spin, Recover, and Psychic with Surf.
Gotcha. Okay. We're on the same page.
Nice. Because that'll probably be the main answer to Ghastly on this team.
Okay.
And so having the option to kill that, and especially being able to kill that on switch in would be very nice. So you need Surf into Psychic for that to work.
Gotcha.
Frillish EVs, I'm not entirely certain of, so we're going to come back to that. How much do I need to be able to deal with Drifloon, actually? Let me cop that real quick, because I've been running 12 defense for the most part on Frillish. Is that sufficient for me and Foos, which is like the one physical thing I've been trying to deal with, or like with that thing? And it's still good enough into like +2 Shelter if I'm at max health, you know? I'm gonna Giga Drain back up to health, so that's not an issue.
Right.
But since it is the main Drifloon answer, bar Ferrocid, I might want to go with more defense for that. Drifloon, I'll see physical acrobatics. Yeah, definitely. 196. Okay, so that's gonna do 15, which means that I'll be at 9, and then after that, it's gonna do... Okay. Does that change with Impish? Without Gem, it does not. However, with Gem, does not matter. Okay, so 14 is sufficient. Now the question is 13 sufficient? 13 is the same. And without Gem, 13 is the same. So the question is, does it actually matter at all? Do we just... Oh, that was 14. Never mind. With 13, it does not matter, and does matter. Okay. So 14 does matter. 15 does not.
Okay.
But that also means that we don't actually want to tank the first hit regardless with Frillish. Either that or we tank it with Frillish and then go into something else. But probably not. Yeah, we don't want to tank the first hit with Frillish.
Okay, I'll
Never
try to
want to do that,
remember
which
that.
means that first hit is going to be the main.
I'm going to have a hard time remembering all these pointers you're giving me.
Yeah, I'm oh yeah, that's also something. Do tell me if I speak too fast, because I have a tendency to just blabber away when I'm doing things without actually...
Well, I kind of love it, to be honest. I like showing people in their natural state. So when you're blabbering on, as you say, like I think that that's
No.
like good content
Okay, good.
because they can always
Let's see. I'm
rewind
not
it.
worried about... That's true. Okay. I think I'm settled on Frillish EVs here.
Okay.
So, max HP.
Okay.
So that we recover 13 HP from recovers. 14 defense for Drifloon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
76 in special defense, aka 16 defense, special defense.
Okay.
Is that sufficient for most mons? Specifically max special attack Staryu would be an issue if it has Thunderbolt. But that's specifically also only if rocks are up. And so with recovering Giga Drain, that's still not an issue. And then 36 in speed, because we want to outspeed Porygons and to an extent Timbers. So that we can taunt them. And then let's see, I'm gonna go to me and Fu, because I think the idea was that I need Toxic on this, which means that I'll go Drain Punch, Knock Off, Toxic, and U-Turn. Again, I like Drain Punch over High Jump Kick, because none of the monsters that I actually want to hit with a fighting move are monsters that I'd actively necessarily need High Jump Kick for. Porygon is the only thing where, like, yeah, you kind of want the High Jump Kick rolls, but at the same time, the Drain Punch healing also does so much more, and not having to worry about one, just missing in general. I dislike inaccurate moves. I try to use as many accurate moves as possible,
Right.
bar in circumstances where I can afford to miss a hit. And so versus Frillish with Minfu, that's kind of the case. I can afford to miss a Toxic because Gold is not going to do that much. But with High Jump Kick, usually like missing is kind of death penalty. And especially like in a meta game where you have so many good ghost types, I don't want to have to play that 50-50 mind game. Drain Punch
Yeah.
does enough to Porygon, it does enough to Ponyard, it does enough to Piglet, it does enough to Ferroseed, it does enough to Snover. And so I don't need to risk anything else. I'll just go with Drain Punch.
Sure.
We do not have taunt, so we can go with the standard 156 HP
Okay.
and then 14 defenses.
Gotcha.
Actually, no, because I have Staryu for drill. Hmm. Mm, I'm just making a little noise. No, actually, we'll go with 22 HP and 15 defense to alleviate some pressure off of Staryu and Filish,
Okay.
specifically into Drillbur matchups.
Okay.
Because 15 defense means that Drillbur Earthquake now is only a 3-hit KO from max attack Drillbur.
Okay.
Whereas
Good
with
to know.
14 defense, it can 2-hit KO.
Wow.
And so that means we have the Minfu EVs, we have Frillish, we have Ferroseid, we have Staryu. So it's only Larvesta and Diglett left. And I think, first of all, we go with the Larvesta, because the Diglett is more so as a support piece. And the
Right.
Larvesta is going to be the big offensive one. So with Larvesta, we obviously want Flare Blitz and U-Turn.
Okay.
And I think I want to go with the Morning Sun route, because that way, if I see that I don't need this Larvesta Scarf, or I need the Frillish specifically for something else in the back, and I can't afford to have that being knocked by Minfu, I can use my Larvesta as a Minfu counter still.
Right.
Because if the Minfu ends up knocking me, or something else ends up knocking me, I still have the option to be a defensive piece, or an offensive piece, like, but with the ability to heal up.
Right.
Um,
And what's the
okay,
fourth
looking
move?
at this fourth move, I'm not certain yet, because one thing I can see right now is that I am kind of weak into Vullaby. That is the one piece we didn't properly address. We do have Thunderbolt on Ferroseid, which does help. We do have a Staryu, which does help to an extent. We do have Toxic on Minfu. And technically, unless it's Nasty Plot, it shouldn't be able to break through Frillish too well.
Okay.
We probably end up going about that by adding Final Gambit or something on Diglett. Probably. Blades, U-turn, Morning Sun. Is there anything here we can add to ease that matchup? We have the option to Wild Charge. I don't think that's a good idea because Flame Charge does.
What
Yeah,
about
Flame Charge does
acrobatics?
like exactly the same. That doesn't help me versus Vullaby though.
Oh, true. Hmm.
I think Toxic of Will-O-Wisp are like great tools to just limit Vullaby at least.
Okay.
Because that way I have the option to like surf and recover stall with Staryu. I have the option to juggle between Ferrocid and Frillish, for example. I can also go substitute last on Diglett, and so the Toxic from Larvesta is gonna rack up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with Toxic last. And now Diglett will go Earthquake, speed up, and substitute with a Violite. Because I don't need to be counter trapping any Diglets. I don't like that's not too important, so I don't need the air balloon. I probably don't mind my Diglett getting counter trapped after. Do I? Eh. But this doesn't really help me in the Wallaby even, because while I can substitute stall it. No, you know what? Rock Slide is just better. Or is it toxic on Diglett and then. Is it toxic on Diglett and something else on Larvesta maybe? Could be Ball Charge on Larvesta. Harden,
For the water
Incinerate,
types, yeah.
Leech Life doesn't do anything. Yeah. Struggle Bug, String Shot, Sunday Swagger. Swagger is banned. Endure, Foresight. Bug Bite would be fun if that had an application.
If this was DPP,
Yeah. No, I'm gonna keep Toxic on Larvesta. I'm also gonna make it. I'm gonna make it Final Gambit on Diglett. I think that's the best way to go about it.
so what's the four moves? Earthquake, beat up, substitute, final gambit?
Stealth Rocks over Substitute.
Okay.
And then we go with the specially defensive Violite build. So 36 HP, 156 attack, 76 special defense, and max speed with Jolly. On Diglett specifically. And then Larvesta, we go max attack adamant with max speed, max attack, and 23 HP. Regenerator, Cursed Body, Iron
I'm sorry, can
Barbs.
you repeat that?
I saw the question. Max attack and max speed with adamant nature on Larvesta.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and 76 on HP.
Okay.
And abilities gonna be Flame Body, Regenerator, Cursed Body, Iron Barbs, Arena Trap, and Diglett, obviously. But I'm last piece of the puzzle. I think I'm built like these where I have so much toxic and I kind of rely on toxic to get through shit like Porygon. As long as they don't stay in on whatever that is. I think no, actually I don't rely on it that much because I can taunt. It does not do anything to Ferroseed. Me and Fick can Drain Punch. Diglett can Final Gambit if needed, or just set up Stealth Rocks and Earthquake Spam. Larvesta. No, I think we go Natural Cure on Staryu. I'd like to consider Illuminate. I think I'm probably the player who uses that the most.
For the
I don't
viewers at
mind
home, why
Porygon.
would you run Illuminate?
Illuminate helps because it does not give the opposing Porygon a good ability. They don't get the ability to natural cure off any toxic that I put on them earlier.
Right.
And especially seeing that I have 2 toxic mons on the team. That's kind of important. But also Porygon doesn't really threaten anything but Staryu. So, yeah, no, and in that sense, yeah, no, you know what? We go Illuminate, because if Porygon comes in on the start of you, I do want that Porygon to not get, like, I want it to still be threatened by the starting. And so me being able to spam Surf while they still have Toxic Chip going on is going to be massive. And it also gives me a better switch out for 2 and 3.
Yeah,
So yeah, so full team from my end, listening it to you, just so because I do have some weird spreads, so
I
just making
hope
sure you
that
get it.
I caught everything. I tried my hardest to catch everything. I hope I did. We'll see.
You might have, and if you didn't, I'm sorry. Speak fast.
That's okay. I I made you repeat yourself a few times. I caught everything except I flipped the attack and spit F on Diglett.
Yeah,
I did pretty good. Cool.
that's quite impressive. I think Jocks usually, like, I think he catches like half of what I say whenever we build. Maybe less. So only missing out on a Diglett on your first try. Good job.
Thank you. You ready to test it?
Okay, so what you want to do? Yes, please. Do you want to
Okay.
be the one piloting the team, and I can just use some other weird stuff?
Do you not want to pilot the team?
I could be the one piloting the team. I just figured, like, if you want the viewers to actually be able to like see
The team in action.
the moves and picks and everything, but
Well, it's
yeah,
customary
I
that
can.
the guest would pilot. That's what I've been doing so far.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll be doing that.
Cool. I'll
Let's
be using
see.
it on my own time. So they'll probably see something.
Yeah. Right, let's see. I'll challenge you then.
Okay.
Let's see. Untitled 735. Ignore the name. I do intend on naming it at some point. Yes. So this is like, this is the kind of matchup where I just want to chip down the Ninja a little bit so I can start spamming Flare Blitz. And the way that I do that is probably by spamming Flare Blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably going to be, okay, looking at this, I would assume that there's going to be an HP Fire on either the Chinchou or the Porygon, maybe the Abra. Less of the Abra, more so the Ghastly probably, but most people that aren't me aren't running HP Fire on Ghastly, they run HP Fighting, if at all. So I think this is going to be, that might actually also be a Scarf Chinchou, come to think of it. Do I want to keep I do want to keep this Scarf probably. Because Frillish not being Scarfed is not. Frillish being not would make it worse into. Frillish mainly does something into Minfire. It kind of does something into Abra, but not really. So I do want to just. Yeah. It's probably fine.
Good play.
Then we scout. And that works for me.
Right.
And so with that, I'm just going to click. That's fine. This is less fine, but it works. Probably.
That's cool that I had iron barbs.
The Iron Barbs are really paying off at the moment. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, that works. That works. So chances are that you do indeed have Power Fire on that thing, or yeah. And so this is. And that's kind of why I like a Violet Diglett, because that gives you an in on any aggro that doesn't have Energy Ball. Okay, idiot doesn't tell me shit. So my safest play is just to go. My safest play is to go me and Fu. Oh, it's Pharisee actually. Because I can still risk 1 HP fire. And this still gives me the me and Fu spread. And so that is a slow Fu. It's 23 or 24 HP, likely 23. And with that I can go foolish. Oh wow, disable, nice. And I now know that that is not something that wants to try and touch Ferroseed, but this is also not a good sequence for me so far. So we're gonna try and. But at this point, I don't need the La Vesta Choice Scarf anymore, so I don't mind this. Yeah, because now I get more pressure on you by not having the scarfed, and by just being able to force out the me and Fee. And I still outspeed you, so I can just do that. And now I have not adjusted for that being actually it says slow pivot in the cock, so yeah. So U-turn has a 21% chance to kill, no, a 93% chance to kill you, which also gives me leverage into literally anything you could go into, so that's nice. I'm just gonna, yeah. And so with that, there's nothing here that could. If this is choice Gavi, it does have Thunderbolt. How much does that do to Frillish? Frillish lives anything guaranteed. Versus Ghastly, I don't do much. Versus Pharisee, I don't, I suppose. If I go my own Pharisee, that'll reveal what your best option is into my Pharisee, I suppose. Yeah, and if this does indeed have hidden power of fire, that would do 6.3%. I don't need to get rid of my Batsmon into most of your team yet, and that does have Toxic, okay. 75 reveals that you are 24 HP, which means that you are likely Scarfed. Which means that this is a turn where I just click U-turn. And this is a turn where I get in my Star U. And I click Scald. I mean Surf. I mean Psychic. I got that wrong like 3 times in a row, but we do not talk about that. And so that's the. So knocking that off is kind of good for my Diglett, kind of good for my Starry, not good for the rest stuff. Okay, this is fine, this is fine. Yeah, because with that, I can now. Okay, so Taunt Frillish, Toxic Larvesta, Toxic Meanfu. I think what I do is I go this, my final Gambit, and you should no longer be able to deal with my Starry.
Is that so?
Yeah. Life Orb, okay. Okay. So now Sludge Bomb would kill me. So the question just begs, do I don't think I said larve. Okay, that's fine.
Yep. Should have went Porygon, huh? Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, I get a fucking Pyro. Yeah, because this should, in theory, give me a close to guaranteed victory. And I probably just go for this here. No Iron Barbs, which I do not like, but that's fine.
That's
That's disabled,
terrible.
so that's nice.
Now you taunt me again.
Yeah, and that's game.
Yep. GG.
GG.
All right, let's do one more.
All right. Yeah, because this would be probably a more, at least a scarier matchup to play into, since I don't necessarily, depending on the online spread, I don't know what would be my best option to deal with that. And as same goes for like Drifloon, I don't know where I want to spend my HP, so to speak.
Right.
Also seeing that you do have the Ammonite, and I do not have enough to. I don't think I want to lead with my own Larvesta. I think I want to lead with don't have a good option into Staryu, but this seems to be the lead for me. Oh, and if that's like, if that was your rocker, for example, that would actually be kind of terrifying. 72, that means that you are fast, isn't it? Yeah, 21 HP, so that's fast now too.
You got it off
Oh,
top of your
right,
head.
because this is the this is the team that you built with Dumbon Jones.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's nice, because that means that you are not going to be Destiny on the drift lane, if I recall correctly, which is something that I think every drift lane should be. That's
Really.
like kind of the gimmick. Yeah, I think that's like kind of half the gimmick of them on, where you're in quite a few matchups, you're always able to force to an extent 2 KOs, because you can get the Acro KO, the 2 KO, and then you get a Destiny Bond KO on the check. And it's very difficult to prevent that without just letting Driftlin chip down half your team. Anyway, we go here, don't we? And this is fast pivots, so 62% to KO. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, I kill that with Diglett. Can indeed kill that with Diglett.
Damn.
Assuming that's 21 HP cock, yeah, and 67% should be 21 HP. And so that means that there's no weird defensive investments, and so Earthquake just bam. And there's Timber.
Oh, I keep trying to double out.
Uh,
I'm trapped. I'm not used to Diglett because it got
one,
banned
two.
before I like started playing seriously in SV.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. Let's see here.
I think you gambit here.
I'm trying to see if I can feasibly. No, I don't gambit yet. I'll do this first.
Sorry, somebody's calling me.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'll wait.
Yes.
They have enough tea. They have more tea. I have tea. I really hope you end up actually pressing the button and kind of sounding like Gollum while drinking tea.
Hello.
Need to make some more tea though. Oh, you're back. Nice. Yeah, no, I didn't want a final gambit because even at +2, like if you went for bulk up, I'd still be able to tank a match punch relatively well, and then match punch, Mac punch, and then final gambit after that to get through your bulk up boost. And you would never get like you'd always have a timber that's somewhat chipped. Uh, and so yeah, yeah. Another question next, do I go? How much does how much does Larvesta do to this with U-turn? Hey, what do you know? I have a no, because you are 19%.
18.5.
Oh the fuck much HP do you have? You have fucking 27 HP. What the fuck kind of spread are you running?
It's max defense. 27, 12, 14. That's what we decided on because it tanks Snover Blizzard. And Snover's a bad matchup for this team.
Fair enough. Fucking hell. I mean, I'd probably just slap Heatwave on Natu, but that's me. You also have a Porygon, so it's not that bad of a matchup, but it's fair enough.
Well, I
Mm,
fucked him up with a Scarf Snover in the video. So,
yeah, but if it's Scarf Snow, you lock in the Blizzard, and then Omnite has free setup or a free kill on a switch, and so you always have a right there. But that probably means that I go because I think either Starry is probably the mon that I have that denies Drifloon the most, which was in Porygon, which means that I go Ferroseed or Meanfu. I go Meanfu because I want to keep the Ferroseed for Drifloon. I don't actually care about. Yeah, no, I don't need the Ferroseed to be healthy, and so I kind of I do to an extent. See how much is a Diglett at, and so that will not be able to final gambit the Starry if he goes into. I go this. Well, you can if
ouch.
yeah, that works. That was a max roll, wasn't it?
I hope you toxic
Oh,
there.
that's fine. Yeah, I actually did click toxic, so I'm gonna give you that one.
Damn it.
But that's fine. This is kind of why I have
Fast
speedy
Frillish.
frillish.
Yeah.
It does help into the Oregon match, like the Timber matchup, like a lot. So here we just. Hi. Okay, that's quite fine.
Aw.
Yeah, and I keep my item because you died, so the effect doesn't. And now the Timber dies on switching.
I should have doubled not to, huh?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Now we just do this.
Oh, I thought Mienfu comes in. That's not good. I think I'd lose.
Probably, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
That's. Oh,
Yeah, I can't hit this. Well, you know what? Why don't you tell us about how you got into LC?
I would. I actually. I played Mons like a long time ago. I started in like 2010 on
Oh,
Pokemon
okay.
Online. Mainly did UU and other level 100 tiers.
Yeah,
Took a I stopped playing in 2014 because I started in like the Norwegian equivalent of high school. And I decided that I wanted to be cool, and cool kids do not play Pokemon, so I just quit.
yeah,
And then an old like IRL friend of mine who like we used to like because I moved away, and so we just picked up like random games to play together. And at some point, he learned about like VGC, and I was like, "Yeah, we could play Monts together." We used to play that when we were kids, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we did ladder a little bit VGC in like 2015, and so in late July 2016, we were drunk at his place during summer vacation, and he was like, "Yeah, why don't we just like try and ladder some OU together?" And we did ladder for like an hour or so, and then right before we were about to go to bed, I was just like, I was still in this chat room for like old Pokemon Online players called Pokemon Offline on Showdown,
yeah.
and I was spectating Chill Shadow, which is like this old guy, won SPL a couple of years ago. I was watching him play a game versus on. I cannot remember who and who was using what, but there was a fucking Scraggy, and that ended up being a Scraggy sweep in Gen 6 LC. And I was like, yeah, that shit is actually kind of cool. I kind of want to do that. And so I started laddering LC. And then I
Cool.
met Jox, and here I am 10 years later.
Do you regret it? No, I hope not.
No, it's no, it's very nice to have like I need to have some sort of creative output, somewhere, something where I can use like my general mental abilities. Like I need to be able to like use my head to like
Right.
how try to see like scout out earlier moves, try to make good plays. I need something like that, but with that creative aspect as well. So chess doesn't do it for me. Random games online usually doesn't do it for me. But Pokemon has a like beautiful balance of like creativity in the builder, creativity in play, and the absolute necessity to actually think about and think through what you are doing. And so that really does it for me.
Yeah, I agree. I love playing Pokemon because of those reasons. I like the creativity. I called it schizo creative catharsis for me specifically because I attributed some of my creativity to my disease. So uh,
Yeah,
I definitely see what you're talking about, where there's like a creative aspect in every part of the game. Um, yeah,
yeah, and especially with like how you've gone around, like how you've tested out multiple different things and how you approach building and approach the viability of mounts. Like I feel like you're probably one of the people who can really like understand where I'm coming from.
cool. That makes me feel good. Well, I try.
Oh, thank you
I
for
try
having
to
me.
understand. Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to change with the team after
No, I'm
testing?
quite happy with how that was quite easy to pilot. And having the option to let the larva get knocked to gain further pressure is like that feels really good.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Quite happy with how this turned out.
yeah, me too. Well, if you'd like to
Yep.
build something another time, feel free to hit me up. I'll probably come to you with random ideas. Um, yeah.
Nice.
And if you like the video, be
Yep.
sure to
We're
leave a
gonna get
like
a
and subscribe and
yeah.
all that. Peace.